Hey everybody, Four Tankers and Dog here. Let's talk about aggression. How much do you put your tank and your hit point pool at risk to directly influence the match? Now this is something that can be really tricky. At the wrong time, YOLOing will just get you dead. Also at the wrong time, just being passive will get your team dead. This is something you need to evaluate and reevaluate constantly throughout the match to properly control and calibrate your aggression to the situation at hand. Now, I've been pondering for months, honestly, trying to figure out what exactly are the right metrics and rules and metaphors to communicate with you what I'm thinking when I'm going through a match and doing these evaluations. And I think I finally came up with the right system. So first off, let's start with the acronym TMI. We all know that. Too much information, right? Which is really what this 40-minute video is going to be. T stands for team. Are they substantially winning or losing the match? If it's kind of close, maybe you should be a little more careful. But if you're winning substantially, keep the pressure on the enemy. Also, if you're losing substantially, it's definitely time to get aggressive and try to squeak out a win somehow by trying to kill tanks as quickly as possible. M stands for my health status. What is your hit point pool, and how does that compare to the target you're stalking? Are you a one-shot? Are you clippable? Or do you have quite a healthy amount of hit points and can therefore go ahead and take more risks? I stands for who's isolated. Once you figure out how aggressive you should be, you do need to figure out where to apply that aggression. Take a look at both your team and the enemy team. Figure out who on your team needs help and who on the enemy team has stuck their neck out too far and are asking to get it cut off. And one more thing, actually, I kind of forgot. O for local overmatch. So I guess it's going to be OTMI, like, I don't know, the Irish TMI or something. So on the maps, generally speaking, there usually develops 2 or 3 different fights, and both teams are not going to deploy evenly to all those regions. If you do have an overmatch in your region, you need to push. You need to go ahead and try to kill the enemy. You have more tanks than they do. If you're in a region where you have fewer tanks than the enemy, well, you need to be a little more passive. If you are too aggressive into a bunch of guns, you're just going to die. And also, if you just sit there when you have way more tanks than the enemy, well, what's going to happen is the enemy team is going to win their overmatch in some other part of the field and go ahead and flank around you, and then you're really screwed. And let's talk about one last thing that I'm not even going to give a letter because it kind of goes into the isolated part. If you are surrounded, that is a key moment where you have to be hyper aggressive. Kind of a natural thing I think a lot of people do when they get surrounded is they face the most dangerous opponent and pray, basically. But what happens then, essentially, you're neutralizing your offensive capability against a strong opponent, and the weak opponent goes behind you and just shoots you in the engine deck over and over again. This is not a recipe for success. What you want to do is face and charge your weakest opponent, get them dead. Only then do you have the slightest chance of surviving. At that point, you can choose whether you have the mobility to go ahead and extend and escape the encirclement, or at that point, go ahead and turn around and face your stronger opponent with now no one behind you, of course. So we're going to go through a whole series of replays, and the metaphor we're going to use to describe how aggressive we're being is a gear shift lever on a car, all the way from YOLO to reverse and everything in between. And let's start in between at neutral. Maintain contact with the enemy, accept free low-risk opportunities to farm damage, but generally stay safe, conserve your hit points. One step more aggressive is drive. You're going to peek when reloaded, you're going to trade shots, maintain contact, generally kind of do the normal tanking thing. Overdrive is aggressive, continuous contact, non-stop shooting, baiting, bouncing shots, never let up on the enemy. And then full-scale YOLO is charging out of cover for a full DPM brawl. Turn and burn, damn the torpedoes. Back at the more conservative end of things, we have Park. Strict, zero risk for damage. Stay alive. This comes when your hit point pool is totally worn down and you are a one-shot, or maybe you're a scout tank just parking in a bush. Remember, a tank with 1 hit point and a gun is 1,000,000 times more useful in winning a match than a dead tanker raging in chat. And lastly, reverse. Run away, relocate, reload. Now, as I said, we're going to go through a whole series of replays here. We're going to start with kind of a basic medium tank match on Shire. We're going to cover auto loaders. We're going to cover heavy tanks, scout matches, whole pile of replays. Please stick with me here until you're fully grokking this concept here on when to be aggressive. All right, roll tape. Okay, here we go. We're on Shire. I'm in my awesome Object 430 with my platoon mates, Pork and Firedog. And as you can see on the opposite team, we have a simp platoon to play against. This is going to be quite the interesting challenge. We're Over the left-hand side, you can see my OTMI metrics there. Local overmatch is the team winning or losing substantially. What's my health situation? Currently good. And of course, who's isolated. And then down on the bottom right next to the mini-map is what gear I'm in. Currently, I'm just in drive, right? I'm going to go ahead and find the enemy. I'm going to peek when reloaded and trade shots and generally maintain contact and do the kind of tanky thing. Initially, I was thinking going to the mid-ridge, but then I see so few people are going to the zero line. This is a bit of a problem. So I go ahead and switch fronts, go towards the zero line. Object 430 does have quite good armor, so you can kind of play it like a heavy tank sometimes. I'll find like a real soft tank, like a Bat Chad or a Leopard 1. I might be a little more cautious about coming here the 9 or 0 line, although those tanks, of course, run away faster. Anyway, coming rolling on over here, when I am directly supporting the 0 line here on Red Shire, I like to go right up against the red line into that pocket there. And there we go. We got a T-49 lit. Let's go ahead and lock on our auto aim. He's probably doing an initial scouting run. I want to pop him. Oh, dear. That was a trap. Who's isolated? Well, that's me right now. No, there is no local overmatch. It's just me and Pork Chop coming up at his 121. There's at least a couple tanks of that platoon here. Probably the other one's up there's the Kranwagen. Pork is being a little optimistic there, especially with the bad gun depression of the 121. I'm just kind of peeking up here a little bit, see if I can kind of get a free shot, but I give up and pull back. Forget it. It's time to run the heck away. So I'm moving back into the buildings. I'm kind of expecting them to push storming right out of the 0 line, but they kind of stopped there, which is kind of interesting. The isolated tank to look at there is the green E100, right? He is now basically the tip of the spear pointing towards all these tanks that might come storming out the 0 line. So I'm going to go swing around a building and set up to support him. I am certainly in R, right? Runaway, relocate, and reload mode right now. And here we go. I finally got to do a nice bit of hard cover here. Ideally hard cover and soft cover, well back to where I can run away and have a nice big kill zone in front of me. There, sniping some nice shots on the 113. It looks like they're being quite cautious about pushing into us. It's kind of interesting. Notice I've shifted into neutral now, so remember neutral is maintain contact, accept free low-risk opportunities to farm damage, but generally stay safe, right? So I'm back here just sniping what opportunities I can get and kind of seeing what's going to be happening here. Reaching over, seeing if I can get a shot in that T-34. Not quite. Oh, there's an Action X in the middle. That's who's isolated right now. Let's see if we can get some shots on him. In fact, the whole team should be able to get shots on him. I don't know what the heck he was thinking, driving out in the middle like that. Driving in the middle of all the enemy tanks is usually not a good idea, I gotta tell you. There we go, get one nice hit in. Hoping to get another round. It didn't sail true, though we only had a smidgen of the side of his turret to shoot at. Continue to wave my crosshairs around, looking for if I can get a shot on him. Moot point, he's dead. Alright, so, shifting back up the drive here. It is time to go ahead and push on the 9-0 again and see where the heck the enemy team went. We are winning, right? We're up 3 tanks now, so we are definitely winning. It's time to go ahead and be more aggressive, put some pressure on them, and find where they are. Make sure they don't go do something cheeky on us. And sure enough, look at that 50B. Again, when you see one tank of a platoon, probably the other ones are around, they're nearby. Yep, there's the Kranwagen, he just showed up. So they've gone ahead and they just went relocated around. So this is a bit of a problem. I'm still being a little cautious. I don't want to come walking into an ambush, but I'm peeking up towards these bushes by the rock here, which is kind of my normal spotting location. The E100 is moving up, the Grill 15 is moving up. That's nice to see. Pause there only briefly at the bush, and I'm continuing to move forward. Looks like we got good vision all along the river here. Nobody's here. Moving up to the next ridge towards their final TD camping zone, right? We've lost a tank. We're down to 7-5, so we're not leading by quite as much anymore, but still we're definitely up. By the way, if you have one of the mods that shows how many hit points are left on each team, that can be a great ancillary indication on who's winning. Sometimes you can be up by several tanks, but behind by several thousand hit points. It can be a really big difference and a really big deal. There, we got T-95 spotted over at B8, and he's definitely isolated. I'm going to go ahead and charge in. I'm shifting into overdrive now. I want to get aggressive because look at that huge push for the enemy team on the 3 line. I want to get underneath the gun of this Patton and anybody else on this ridge and shoot back at that T-95. Anybody on this ridge who peeks over to try to shoot me should get shot by my allies. And that T-95, if he turns around to shoot me, the E-100 should go ahead and nail him in the ass. So here we go, spin it around as I start pumping shells into T-95. The enemy team is pushing really hard on the 3 line there, and so I'm being very aggressive here. I know I'm exposing myself to the risk of getting shot, but we have to get that T-95 dead as soon as possible. That will release the T-10 and the E-100 to go ahead and move forward, and we can go ahead and apply more of our tanks to the central location here. I do get shot in the back of the head by the 113, but look at that. Fire Dog shuts down the 113. Well executed there. We're still up by 3 tanks. Again, now the E-100 and the T-10 can move forward. I'm spinning around this hill to go ahead and peek on the other side, and sure enough, hey, it's Mr. Simp, Mr. Executus from the WGL Gold League, running around in his Kranwagen. Notice my hit points here. I am still good, but he has a clip. I need to be a little bit cautious here, but I just need to land 1 shot to drop him. Peeking forward, there, slide it right into the tracks. He does whack me, so I'm under 50%. Definitely time to be a little more conservative, but we are pushing this match on towards a win very promptly. Yes, we have the local overmatch. Yes, the team is winning. My health is a little weak, but not the worst in the world. I'll take a free shot on a 50B. Now for that free shot, I do get lit by something. Maybe the Patton? I'm not really sure. Maybe the 50B really has good view range. But I'm going to shift it in reverse and actually swing around and relocate because I don't want to charge around the essentially northwest side of this hill with the possibility of a 50B dumping a clip into my side. That would really kind of suck. So I'm rejoining the rest of my team over here on the east side of the main hill. I'm still in overdrive mode. I am pushing hard. Going to aim for that Patton if he's still there. Yes, he is still in the same location. Should just slide in here, not expose myself to the E5 or the object, and go ahead and kill this Patton promptly. Somehow that shell goes into the ground. I can't tell you why. That was crazy. I swear the whole circle was on the enemy target, but whatever. Anyway, he's dead. Boom. The other tanks are dead. Boom. Shift into YOLO mode because it is cleanup time. Just the 50B. I am clippable, but I really don't give a darn. This match is won. I'm just going to charge in here hard, get a shot or 2, and call this a win. And on to El Haloof in the Black Dog for a little bit of scouting. Now, as a scout tank, you definitely have no armor or hit points. We're not going to be trading shots or anything, so we're not going to start out and drive. We're going to stay down in neutral. And the main things we're looking for here is advance to contact with the enemy and, of course, stay safe. We're not even going to farm low-risk shots because we don't want to get lit, right? That's job A number 1. Provide vision for your allies, not really shoot yourself. So I'm going up to the D4 mountain, the bush on top of that, to provide some vision on the whole center of the map, and especially enemy tanks that are rolling up the 1 line, heading towards the main northwest kind of heavy tank contact zone. And there we go. We spot 1 TD. We spot another TD. Our T-49 is zooming in a shell. Oh, it sails right over the E3. That would have been really nice, but essentially we've parked it now. We're going to stay passive, we're going to stay patient, and we're going to wait to see how this match develops. Okay, so looking around the map, you can see the T-57 Heavy on our team is getting himself quite isolated. He's gone way down there to H7. He's got lots of fire support behind him, but he is definitely kind of alone. He's got, what, the J Panther 2, got a Charioteer, T-28, RU-251, maybe even the T-49 for fire support. But he's got a lot of attention down there. I've gone ahead and loaded a HEP round. There was a chance there to shoot that T-49, and that would have been really delicious. So I've shifted up to neutral. I will go ahead and take opportunity shots now, as opposed to just playing purely passive. And I'm waiting for the right opportunity here to go ahead and lend some support to our 57 Heavy. I'm talking with my platoon mates, of course. Pork and Firedog are up there in the northwest. Every once in a while, I'll kind of like ask, hey, you know, how are things going over there? Nice full penetration hit on the enemy Black Dog. I back up just in case I was going to get lit, but I don't, so I pull back in the bush and look for another opportunity. Pork and Fire Dog say things are basically just going fine up there. No big worries. Things are kind of balanced there. Nobody's got an overmatch. So just waiting kind of for this corner here for things to resolve. If that heavy goes down, the enemy tanks will start pushing up the slope towards our base, and from here, I can shoot them quite easily. If our heavy wins, well then, let's see, there's still one more tank down there. You can just barely see it, a T-54 he's dueling with. If he wins that corner, well then I can go ahead and think about start pushing in underneath the enemy tank destroyers. There we go. 54 is dead. The team is definitely winning now. I'm still in neutral here briefly. I'm peeking around. Any tank destroyers are going to shoot me in the head. The isolated tank is definitely that RU-251 there at C2. I'm communicating that, of course, with my platoon mate. And I say, okay, I'm charging the RU. Let's get him. The full-scale YOLO mode now. Loaded a HEP round. Nice. Great kill. Okay. Spin it around. We lit their Artie. Let's go ahead and get him dead promptly. Now I gotta hand it to this Artie here. Good balls here, man. I shoot him once, and he goes ahead and takes the time and takes his shot. Kills our AMX 5120, even though I kill him. The next tank to kill is the ISU 251, but because our 5120 went down, our local overmatch kind of vaporized here. It's now actually kind of tied up on this corner. We got lots of other tanks from the rest of the map, which can roam free and hopefully are aggressive about it. But on this corner, I kind of pull back a little bit. I don't want to get ISU'd in the face. There, the ISU goes down. That makes things a little better. Pork Chop goes down. Things are still a little balanced right on this flank. But I go ahead and zoom it around, doing a little relocation. The grill is tangling with the Object 140, so I'm going into full attack mode. The T-28 prototype on their team is too far back. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right in the face of this 140, shoot him in the back. One more shell will finish him. Again, check, make sure the T-28 prot can't shoot me. Now going in against the E5, he is the one who is isolated and easy to kill. His hit points are way down. My hit points are excellent. Switch back to AP here to be easier to pen on a more armored tank. Honestly, I probably could have rammed him and killed him there, but I go ahead and jink around, take his shell in my tracks. That shell doesn't go through, but we loop around back behind him to the weak rear armor. Pump a last shell into him. There we go. Last tank is a T-28 prototype. Again, full YOLO mode here. We're in cleanup. Why not? Go ahead and load a HEP round, actually. High penetration HE round. I'm going to spin around the armor of this T-28 prot and lay it into his engine deck. Boom! I don't get the kill, but I get a full 370 damage there right before the FV finishes them off. That was great stuff. And on to Morvanka in the T-26E5, the Trump tank, or the baby E5, or the Ultra Pershing, call it what you will. What do I call the Trump tank? Well, it kind of came out right during the election there in late 2016, and it's kind of ridiculously overpowered and over-patriotic, so the Trump tank. But anyway, we're going to go rolling on over to the 2-line. Normally, I would like to stay with my platoon mates, right, and kind of work together for a better synergy, but the enemy team has a lot of very strong top-tier heavy tanks, and so I kind of feel that I need to do the duty of a heavy tank and go kind of watch the 2-line, go make sure the cap doesn't get overrun, just kind of do the kind of corner fight there at F2 like a heavy tank should. Anyway, so I'm rolling over here, and I'm talking with my platoon mates, and they're all, oh, actually, I think Crazy Bernie literally said, oh, hey, the WZ is over here. I think most of their team was over here in the forest. Okay, interesting. So I'm rolling along. I've actually got decent camo on this cruise. I'm going to pull up to this bush. The RU is also coming over to provide some vision. And we're just driving along, looking for contact with the enemy so we can trade shots with them. Oh, frack. Who's isolated? Me. Immediately shift down into neutral. I want to maintain contact. I'm going to accept essentially low-risk opportunities to deal damage, but I'm generally going to stay safe. I need to stay alive. I have fire support from 4 tanks behind me, and I am essentially their armored spotter. And the enemy, our friendly team over in the forest, they need to win over the enemy forces there as fast as possible. They need to punch up their aggression and win as quick as they can because A, the enemy team is on the bloody cap, and B, they can push out of the cap and wipe me out anytime they want to here. We are up by 2 tanks, but we're certainly not winning this match yet. So again, I'm just taking free opportunities to get damage, keeping these guys lit. As the counter gets closer to counting out, I might go ahead and be a little more aggressive and get resets. But I want to draw these guys around the corner, if I can, into my allies' guns. And I certainly need my hit points, enough hit points available, so I can push and get resets if it really comes to that. My team is pushing in hard from the east as fast as they can. That reset on the Tiger P was a big mistake, him peeking up like that. That gave an extra 10 points on the counter. And look at this here in a second. Fire Dog comes in with the AMX 1357 GF. Look at these 90 hit point hits. 1 hit, 2 hits. Oh, beautiful. Always aim for the tanks that have full hit points because you know they're the ones that need resetting. The enemy team realizes they are screwed at this point, so their one chance is to push out of the encirclement, push hard, and try to wipe us out. At least the JT and the VKB know this. I go into full YOLO mode, it is brawl time, I reach around the Jig Tig, finish off the VKB. I do give my ass to the enemy tanks here briefly as I loop around the Jig Tig, but it looks like we've got this. Now finally I go ahead and slow down just slightly, trying to get a perfectly timed tracking shot in the Jig Tig, but I fail. And he goes ahead and rotates and finishes me off. But essentially, we have this match won at this point. It is total cleanup time. But that was sure exciting, wasn't it? Went from normal drive mode to careful neutral mode to full-on YOLO mode in about 20 seconds. And speaking of fun, let's talk autoloaders. Why are they so much fun? Because basically you spend the whole match oscillating between YOLO and Runaway over and over again. It is crazy intense and a crazy fun way to play World of Tanks. Here we are in the epic Batchat 25T on Tundra, and we're going to go storming over to the 0 line. I have my aggression level set as neutral right now, but I'm actually not going to advance to contact. I'm not going to farm low-risk shots. I am going to stay safe, however. Basically, I'm advancing very quickly into my position, and then I'm going to slam it down into park, and we are going to wait. We are going to be patient. We are going to be passive, and we're being sneaky. If I were to peek out, they would know I'm here, and I don't want that, right? I am laying in wait for anybody to cross right in front of me. I have allies to provide vision and honestly be my meat shield, but I am providing my allies a huge wallop of alpha damage for anybody foolish enough to go ahead and try to take that hill. Just being patient, talking with my platoon mates. There. Boom. Toast. Can we get to that second one? Ah, no. It actually bounced off a highly angled rear engine deck. Would have been great to track him or something. All right, I'll go ahead and clip, and it's time to reload, run away, and relocate. Who's isolated? The green Foch at E7 has really stuck his neck out there. I'm going to try to help him a bit. There's so many tanks up on the hill, I don't really want to sit there and push and trade shots. I want to do the flanking kind of thing. You know, the Batchat has lots of mobility and a great gun. You want to go ahead and relocate and find opportunities. Now, I get information from my platoon mates there that the enemy team is running away from the hill, and what they're doing is obvious. They're coming down to hit the Foch. Essentially, they're doing the same thing I was about to do. So I back up. I want to be able to run away here. But here, I go ahead and shift into overdrive mode, continuous contact. I'm going to go ahead and unload this clip. Incoming fire be damned. Trying to sneak in shots on the weak point there at the E5. 2 have not gone true. There we go. We get a penetrating hit. That shot goes through. I have no idea how. We bounced a shot from the Patton and then put our last shot in the Patton and tracked him in place. Again, shift into R. Time to run away, reload, and relocate. Looking at the map, I'm kind of seeing, okay, what am I going to do next? Who's isolated? Who can I go kill with my clip? It's looking like the 54 lightweight. Look, he's pushing so far north. So A, we can act as essentially an anti-scout, right? Make sure he doesn't get behind our Tiger 2, our JPE, and mess up our one-line guys. But he's kind of sitting there now. So go ahead and shift into neutral. We're going to take a nice safe shot, peek up and ambush him. Boom! Nice. Okay, we're looking around. Can anybody shoot me? Can anybody shoot me? No, looks like I'm safe. I go ahead and start moving in. Full YOLO. I'm going to go after the JPE 100. I've got 4 shells. I should be able to knock him out, get right in behind him. But actually, that kill over on the 1 line changed my plans. Instead, I'm going to go for the IS-7. Again, I got 4 shells. I've got help from our Tiger 2. If I can drop this IS-7, then the Tiger 2 can help me with the JPE. 1 shot, 2 shot. Boom goes the ammo rack. Got 1 shell left. I'm raising my view high to see where the JPE is looking. He's not looking at me. Dump the last shell and go diving in around the buildings. Again, we are in runaway, relocate, and reload mode again. The JPE turns towards me. That's Tiger 2. Kudos to you, man. We worked as a great team here. He's taking the opportunity when the JPE's not looking at me to go ahead and come in. He's going to get a hit on him. And basically we tag teamed that IS-7. We're going to tag team this JPE. And even on after this, he was working really well with me. So just kiting the JPE, right? I have the mobility advantage. I can just stay safe and loop around. I'm a little bit aware of their T-28 Prot. I don't want him taking free shots on me, but his alpha isn't that huge. And I've got full hit points. Not a big deal. We do have a local overmatch here, but ultimately there's some calls for help over for the AMX CDC. And so the Tiger 2 runs off, and I decided that's a good idea. I'm going to join him too. We're going to leave behind the slow enemy tank, even though he's isolated. And we're going to go mop up these 2 low hit points enemy tanks that are pushing in towards our base. Come hopping over here, lock onto the Pat. 1 hit, 2 hits. He's dead. The Tiger 2 finishes off the grill. It's now 11-9. We're totally winning this match. And I go ahead and push across the bridge, looking for either the Prot or the JPE. I've got 3 shells left. I'm holding them for now. The JPE gets wiped out by our JPE. Nice. And now there's just 1 tank left. YOLO it full speed here on into the T-28 to end the match. First shell bounces off its turret. No! Second shell burns him, however. And we're done. Alright, onward. 113. Bunch of heavy tanks. Fast heavy tanks. Here on Fjords. Now what I love to do on Fjords, and in many maps, when I have a highly mobile heavy tank, it's almost like a medium heavy tank. There's usually kind of a standard heavy tank contact point. And if you have more mobility than the average heavy tank, well, you can go ahead and push really hard, really aggressive, all the way to that standard heavy tank contact point and maybe beyond it and catch the enemy off guard and kind of force them out of their normal defensive positions and give yourself a huge advantage in the process. So I am in full overdrive mode, aggressive continuous contact. I am going to push hard right around the point and right on up to the first tank I meet. And of course, I communicate this with my platoon mates. Pork and Firedog are coming as fast as they can. They got a little delayed for whatever reason. But essentially, I'm going to engage. Not full YOLO, right? I'm not going to just brawl whatever I find, because they may have allies. But the first tank I find here, I'm going to go ahead and put some shells into. Turns out to be an Emil 2. I just throw the initial shot randomly to kind of make him a little worried, but then I angle my armor carefully. He gets 1 shot through me. I get 1 shot through his cupola, so I think a good trade for me. And now he's out. He's done. Until that Artie spanked me. That hurt a lot. I'm now under 50% hit points. I don't know what the overmatch situation is. I don't know if the team is winning yet. So, but anyway, aim for the cheeks. That heavy. I don't know how that didn't go through. I'm letting Firedog dump his clip. I don't want to block his clip, right? At the same time, Pork is over on the left, taking care of that Emil. I'll go ahead and peek out, try to finish. We actually had bad miscommunication there. Pork and I both fired at the 57 heavy, so we waste a shell. The Emil gets several more shells into me. Pork rams him, and I go ahead and squeeze in the final kill shot, doing 2 damage to the Emil 2 and finishing him off. But I just get shot by everybody in the process. So I am now a 1-shot, right? So I am definitely in neutral. I have dialed down my aggressiveness substantially. I'm not quite in full park mode because I need to support Pork Chop, right? If I just let him go ahead and get overmatched, he'll be dead, and then I'll be dead. So I'm still peeking out. I do have armor, right? So I can probably bounce stuff a little bit. So it's not quite insanity to be peeking out here. But again, you got to support your teammate a little bit too. I'm trying to find shots on the bat chat. Trying to find shots at the 54. Damn it all, I got lit. Artie, luckily, That shot went way wide. I'm not sure how he missed that. Maybe he just snapshotted on me. But now the team's winning. Notice that. We're up 5-0, so that's good news. And there's the 54 goes down. Now we've got the local overmatch as well. I'm going to go ahead and push in and get behind this IS-7. Looks like the Batch Hat is running away. Man, that 261 just deleted Pork Chop. That guy is really being a pain in the neck. As the Batch Hat's running, I presume he's reloading, so I'm going to go ahead and get in behind this isolated IS-7 and put a shell right into his rear. I double clutch slightly. I wonder if this T-49 has me lit. Because he can totally get me. That big AG shell would do me in. Get a nice shot into the IS-7. I go back for a second helping. Thinking about it. Already wipes out Fire Dog. And there, I'm dead. Anyway, look at that. Our platoon with the first 3 tanks dead on our team. But, you know, the team mops this up pronto. We ground up all their high-tier heavy tanks. And this is essentially done at this point. And last but not least, that T-49. Okay, on to Ruinberg. In a light tank, the RU-251, but as you may know, on Ruinberg, I don't like scouting field. Basically, it turns into a medium tank fight around the Delta village. And I don't like doing that in a light tank with no armor, no ability to side scrape, or no turret. You know, it's got nothing, right? It's, you're going to be lit because you're really in close proximity, and then you're just kind of trading shots around buildings. That's not really what light tanks are good for. I'm going to go to G1 and go ahead and peek out here, get some early vision on the enemy tanks coming in, so my team knows what's going on and what's coming for them in the central courtyard. There's an IS-3. We'll go ahead and put a shot into him. I'm shooting HE here because it's more likely to bust a track, break a gun, kill a crew member. Yeah, but I don't get anything, no crits out of those 2 hits, but so it goes. Now, if I had anybody else here with me, I would run away and go to the field. Like if that Scorpion G, for instance, would be a great tank at my position here. But I'm alone, and so I'm going to stay here and kind of play like a spoiler tank destroyer kind of tank. Basically, I want to make the enemy team scared about pushing around the E2 corner into the courtyard. I'm providing a separate angle of fire. I'm watching the one line. I'm expecting that IS-3 to peek out there and shoot me. He doesn't, strangely. So I go ahead and peek out to take a shot. I get a nice tracking shot on the E5, and I was hoping my team might get some shots. But that IS-3, that cheeky bugger, he was just parked right there at D2 waiting for me to peek out. Very nice play on the IS-3's part. So I go dark, I wiggle around. There is Arty, and at this corner you can get Arty, so you gotta be a little careful. I'm still in neutral here. I'm trying to maintain contact. Only free shots I'm taking, trying to really minimize where I risk to take hits, and generally staying safe. Kind of waiting for them to peek around the corner at our E5 to essentially get in shots on their side. If necessary, I'll just peek and get lit. You know, that's all I'll do, just so they know I'm here, so they're nervous about it. Notice the IS-3 is moved. The one line is clear. This is great information. The Death Star pushes in to D2 there. Now the E-75 is isolated. He's nervous. He can get shot by me if he moves around that corner. He can't really help the Death Star. So we have this little dance here. The E-75 is trying to point at our E5 and keep our E5 from shooting the Death Star. And I'm looking at the E-75, looking for my opportunity to go ahead and pump a shell into the side of his turret, just like that. Now the team is down by 3 tanks here. Things, I guess, aren't going that great over in the Delta Village. Fire Dog's already dead. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll ask my dead teammate, hey, go look over the Delta Village or some other location of the map. Are they winning? Are they losing? Are they going to win that fight? Anyway, but I can't really do anything else here, right? I've got to stay here and keep that E-75 from wrapping around our guys. He can get lit. No, he's looking right at me. Dodge back. But even just getting lit, again, is important here. Just getting lit lets that E-75 know that, hey, don't try it. Oh, we made a shot. Nice. Now, what I should have done here, what I totally should have done, is just peek out and shoot the Death Star on the side. I try a heat round into his lower front plate. No joy. But look at that. I had the side of the Death Star right there. That was kind of a foolish missed opportunity there. Now notice the IS-3 has died. Now we have a local overmatch. And also, we're down 2 to 5, 2 to 6, 2 to 7. Oh my god, the Delta Village just totally fell. Now we have to get hyper aggressive. We are down 6 freaking tanks. We need to win the city and win hard now. I'm calling out attack on the communication chat. There, I've got a side turret shot in the E-75. Okay, the E-75's dead. I'm pushing. I'm YOLOing hard right in towards the fountain. I auto-aim onto the Death Star and throw a shell. Dodge a shot from the E-5. Dodge a shot from the Death Star. Oh my god. Try to do a tracking shot, but it goes into this LFP, but I'll take the damage. And our team now is hyper aggressive. Again, we've got to try to save this match as quick as we can. We wipe out the Death Star. I'm kind of dancing here behind the fountain waiting to go dark and thinking, okay, so who's isolated now? Sure, the E5 is isolated, but who wants to charge a full health E5, especially in a little light tank? Also, the 54 lightweight is isolated, but he'll have fire support from the Delta Village. I don't want that either. So I kind of back up a bit, get a last little vision check on the E5, and I see the KV4 rolling south. I decide I need to support him, because basically, the enemy team has a lot of medium tanks left. If they're smart, they're already screaming around down to the south through our cap and about ready to flank us. So the KV4 takes a tight position against the edge of the buildings to be able to do side-scrapey kind of stuff, and I come reaching all the way down to K2 to get this nice position here to support each other. The E5 is alone in the middle, but he's really strong, and our Pat and our JPE go north. We find a Leopard 1, I load a HEP round because he has no armor. Line up a shot on his nose here. Doesn't go through, but helpfully he goes ahead and gives me his engine deck. And we go ahead and pump around right through the engine deck. 314 damage, no critical hits, unfortunately. And he runs off. So slam it into YOLO now. We got to go catch him. The E5 is in danger of being surrounded, so I'm charging back north as fast as I can. The E5 has the Leopard. Oh, he kills the Leopard. Excellent. There's the AMX-30. The Skoda actually goes north and kills the Pat, and the Pershing shows up. I auto-aim the Pershing, fire a shell. I'm lit, so I don't want to get shot by the AMX or the Scorpion G, so I zip right past the E5 and spin it around. And then I think twice about this. No, actually the JPE is a problem up north. He's isolated. I'm going to go charge north and help him out. The KV4 shuts down, excuse me, the E5 shuts down the Scorpion G. The KV4 and the E5 are watching the AMX-30 now, so they've got that overmatch taken care of. If I can get here quick, both the Skoda and the E5 are very low on hit points. Auto-aim on the E5, bounce a shell, possibly even off the nose of the JPE. I tuck in the building to get away from the T-28 and the Skoda, finish off the E5. The Skoda already missed one shell, he puts 2 into me, but now he is out! He is out of ammo. He has not a single round in the magazine. I'm a one-shot, but he doesn't have one shell anymore. We just go ahead and pump rounds into him a little bit carefully, making sure we don't peek out in front of the T-28. Our other allies have taken care of their AMX-30, and now it is a 4-on-2. I hesitate here briefly to try to throw off the timing and aim of the enemy artillery, and then go ahead and start advancing up the B row. Sure enough, here in a second, the already misses me. I'm moving in on the T-28. I actually get lit, and so I double clutch here. I stop, slam it down into neutral, peek out, see he's not looking at me, shoot his tracks, and then go ahead and move in. Remember, the light bulb goes off 3 seconds after you've been lit. I have no idea how that T-28 lit me, but it's easily possible that he could have been spinning around to shoot me in the face. And it's arty party time. We charge in towards the red line, hopefully going dark along here, making him think I'm going behind the buildings. Then I cut back over the road here, light him up, lock on the auto-aim, throw a shell, which beautifully penetrates, swing it around him. Remember, the RU has better gun depression to the side, so I angle myself going over the crown of the road, bring my gun to bear nice and early, and finish him off for a freaking amazing hard carry match. What, you're actually still here and watching? Okay, one more match for you, but I'm not going to narrate this one. This is actually cut from my live stream. I have it all annotated, so watch who's isolated, watch my aggression, see if you can predict who I'm going to be attacking and when and how I'm going to do it. If you want to see stats for any of these replays, please look in the video description down below. And as always, my friends, good hunting and carry hard. You want to take the hills?
Yeah, I'm not going up there. I'm too slow.
Yeah, don't blame you. Trying to cross be dangerous. All right, I'll motor up to A7.
Actually, I'm going to stay on this side, but I'm going to hang back.
RU is tracked. swear. This thing is such a cheater tank. Oh ho ho! Okay, I'm swinging back down to pump into those heavies. It's a 57 heavy up at A9. Be wary for the crossfire. Flipped in 10. Flipped in 5. I'll give it to this 121 if he's still alive.
Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged. We didn't even scratch them.
Alright. Moving up to work the hill. The heavy's reloading, isn't he?
Not for long.
Enemy is hit. Penetration. Enemy is hit. The main gun is damaged. We can't fire accurately.
Flipped in 10. The Foch is trying to run away. Yeah, I'm charging in.
Ready to fire. Enemy vehicle destroyed. Target acquired. Target unlocked.
Okay, I'm gonna kill the Foch first.
Ready to fire. Penetration. Got him.
Okay, I am out. Little does this
Target acquired.
Type 61 realize.
Where'd they go?
There we go.
Enemy vehicle destroyed. Enemy is hit.
Nice! Woo, 5,000 damage. That was freaking nuts.
We only got 2 hits in.
Ran out my trigger finger on that one.
It's really unfair how fast that thing fires.
It really is. 5,000 damage, second class.
Hey, don't pick on that tank. When they go to nerf it, I'll be upset.
You know, if they get the advantage and can push you, you get wiped out, right? Because the clip's kind of small, and the clips you got to reload, right? But man, when they kind of ignore you, and you can catch people one at a time and just delete them, that's oh my god.